Walsh takes over from Paul Townend on Inish Island, and that is facilitated by the withdrawal of one of the leading fancies, Casey, who misses out, along with Ballybow who ran yesterday, and Cloudy Copper, who's not right this morning. The going is officially soft good to soft in places, but getting softer all the time. And the runners are headed by the former Cesarewitch winner and last time out winner over hurdles, Aim to Prosper for Paul Nicholls. African Gold bidding to give the Twiston Davis team their third winner of the week, and a big chance too on a sequence. At Fisher's Cross, we featured several times on Channel 4 and defeated the new one last time. Inish Island now the Mount of Ruby Walsh and coming for money accordingly.
Well, a couple of big bets come in already in the Albert Bartlett, £4,000 on African.
Very quiet fashion here with at Fisher's Cross in the green and yellow hoops. A horse we've seen quite a bit of on Channel 4 this winter at Fisher's Cross. Been running at shorter distances, but looked very good when he was stepped up to 3 miles. He's really got an excellent attitude, and that's why he's favourite for this race today. O'Phelan's Boy on the near side, his stable companion. At the back there, Superior Quality in the hands of Noel Feely. And the tape has gone up, and as with the World Hurdle yesterday, nobody very keen to make it, and they do set off at a very sedate pace with O'Phelan's Boy and Utopia de Board and Virginia Ash amongst the leaders at Fisher's Cross in the white cap. Wide out then is I Shot the Sheriff. The white-faced African Gold is in behind them. Green and yellow jacketed Aim to Prosper from Our Vinny, and then Return Spring as they jump the first. On the right is the mare Utopia de Board, just being reined back by Barry Geraghty there on landing in these early stages, and Superior Quality is at the back of the field along with Bucking the Trend and Inish Island over the second. O'Phelan's Boy lands just ahead of Lebec. Then I Shot the Sheriff, and on the near side Virginia Ash, followed by At Fisher's Cross, Utopia de Board and African Gold and Aim to Prosper. A good jump from Return Spring, then Inish Island and Our Vinny as they now make their way slightly uphill on the far side of the course and head towards the next flight. Just about at the furthest point away from the stands here. We're getting that way, and it's O'Phelan's Boy who leads here under Jason Maguire from Lebec in second, Dougie Costello. Virginia Ash on the near side, right up the near side in the shades of green, Utopia de Board. Then McCoy on at Fisher's Cross from I Shot the Sheriff, Return Spring and African Gold. Sam Twiston Davis on African Gold, bidding to continue what's been a great week for the Twiston Davis family. After the front 7 or 8 is Aim to Prosper, Our Vinny, Inish Island, Bucking the Trend towards the back of the field. Joe Tizard on the near side on Virginia Ash. And there is the 17 times champion jockey on at Fisher's Cross, ahead of another big chance in the Gold Cup in about 45 minutes time. They reach the top of the hill on this first circuit. We're about to make the descent, and it is O'Phelan's Boy from Virginia Ash, Utopia de Board on the right, on the inside, and then at Fisher's Cross. I Shot the Sheriff out wide in the yellow sleeves. Tom Scudamore, who'll be riding the giant bolster in the big one as they approach the next. O'Phelan's Boy, Lebec, I Shot the Sheriff, Virginia Ash and at Fisher's Cross, followed by Our Vinny. Then in behind them, Return Spring and African Gold, Aim to Prosper, well covered up. Right on the inside, Superior Quality, Bucking the Trend and Inish Island. Ruby Walsh, no move from him at this still very early stage. He's towards the rear. He's about third last, Inish Island in the black and white jacket as they make the long run to the flight in front of the stands with over a circuit left to go. Still at a steady pace, mindful of the testing conditions now here at Prestbury Park after steady rain over the last couple of hours or so. O'Phelan's Boy by 2.5 lengths to Lebec in the red and white check jacket. Virginia Ash, Utopia de Board over on the inside at Fisher's Cross, and I Shot the Sheriff clearing this one. And down I Shot the Sheriff has gone and brings down Our Vinny. Our Vinny has been brought down there, Paul Carberry. The riders look okay, and the horse is galloping away from the scene of the crime, and that was desperate luck for Our Vinny. I Shot the Sheriff hitting the deck, and so the remaining runners head towards the back straight. They were barely out of a canter really going into that flight, and it's O'Phelan's Boy that leads to Lebec in second. Virginia Ash is third. At Fisher's Cross was away from the melee there and it's towards the outside, very handy still with African Gold. Utopia de Bourg has gone right up the inside, just had a shot at the moment as they jump the next. O'Phelan's Boy by about 3 lengths to Lebec. Then Virginia Ash and At Fisher's Cross. Then African Gold, Aim to Prosper. Return Spring behind these. Inish Island creeping into the race under Ruby Walsh as they jump the next flight of hurdles. Then Utopia de Bourg, Superior Quality and Bucking the Tread. Approaching the next, and then they'll have that left-hand turn to cover and a flight going up the hill, and they all jump that one well, and it's still O'Phelan's Boy that's made it all so far under Jason Maguire. Lebec in second place, McCoy just dropping a pair of goggles on the outside on At Fisher's Cross. African Gold is making ground on them, then Virginia Ash followed by Return Spring in the light blue jacket. Utopia de Bourg the inside, Aim to Prosper, Inish Island Bucking the Trend and Superior Quality. They're coming to 3 out in the Albert Bartlett Novices hurdle. O'Phelan's Boy by a length to Lebec, who jumped up well on the inside there. African Gold has gone into third now, moving strongly ahead of At Fisher's Cross. Then on the inside, Utopia de Bourg from Virginia Ash is just struggling to hold his position now as they reach the top of the hill, swinging left-handed and a long run towards 2 out. They're still a good 5 furlongs plus from the finish here. A long way to go, and the hill, of course, to climb at the end. O'Phelan's Boy from Lebec. At Fisher's Cross on the outside of African Gold. Then round the inside, where she's been throughout, Utopia de Bourg cutting every corner in the hands of Barry Geraghty. Then chased by Return Spring and Aim to Prosper. The race now begins in earnest down the hill. O'Phelan's Boy by 2.5 lengths. The leaders led all the way so far. From Lebec in second. At Fisher's Cross under McCoy towards the outside as they jump 2 out. O'Phelan's Boy, Lebec, African Gold going very strongly for the informed Twiston Davis team. At Fisher's Cross with every chance as they run towards the final turn. They're tracked by Inish Island. Utopia de Bourg still round the inside, then Lebec. They straighten up now for the final flight. O'Phelan's Boy is pressed by African Gold. Here comes At Fisher's Cross towards the far side. Then Utopia de Bourg. A long, long run to the final flight. O'Phelan's Boy coming under pressure. It could be left for African Gold and At Fisher's Cross. Inish Island is trying to join in. Still 100 yards or so off the last. African Gold and At Fisher's Cross together. At Fisher's Cross travelling very strongly indeed. At the final flight, great jump from At Fisher's Cross, and now he says go. At Fisher's Cross by 2-3 lengths to African Gold, and then Inish Island. At Fisher's Cross never out of a canter and stretches away to win the Albert Bartlett in the hands of Tony McCoy. Tight second between Inish Island and African Gold. They were a long way clear of the early front runner O'Phelan's Boy, followed back then by Utopia de Bourg, then Lebec and Virginia Ash and Bucking the Trend and Aim to Prosper. At Fisher's Cross, we haven't seen a better novice hurdler in this country on this side of the water all winter. He was hugely impressive again there. 5 from 5 this season. Tony McCoy getting his eye in ahead of Sir Deschamps in the Gold Cup.
We have had 23 races so far at this Cheltenham Festival, the 23rd of them won by the champion jockey A.P. McCoy, who came there strongly on At Fisher's Cross. Just a couple of strides before the last fence, the horse pricked his ears and McCoy had to say, come on, you concentrate, don't you start ducking around with me there. Just had to give him a slap down the neck, and the horse takes off. Gets the rail, comes up the hill. I suspect, though, that McCoy won't be thinking about himself. He will be thinking about JT McNamara. Let's find out. He's now with Alice.
AP, I know you really liked this horse earlier in the year, and he's proved you right.
Yeah, he's turned the corner. Got a great attitude, Alice. Just keeps finding, he's just a horse you'd love to be riding. It's very hard to be happy today after what happened yesterday, with John Thomas McNamara. Campbell Gillies won this race last year. He's not here, so you got to enjoy these moments. But it's very difficult at the moment. I say it's very tough what happened yesterday, and obviously with Campbell as well. But I'm glad that this fella won for the boss, because he was pretty upset last night about John Thomas. So this will help a little bit. I'm also glad that I've got some of Ronnie Bartlett's money as well, which is in a cheerier note, which is nice, But I said it's very hard to be happy today,
Well, listen, well done.
Thanks.
A man who knows very much that life is about more than racing, but a first winner of the week for McCoy, first winner of the week for JP McManus as well. And McCoy sort of forcing a smile there. Mick Fitzgerald, you know him extremely well, and you know how hard he thinks about everything and how hard he takes things.
Oh yeah, this means everything to AP, to ride winners at the Cheltenham Festival. I think it shows you what a selfless person he is, to think of somebody else, to think of Cam McGillis, who won this race last year, no longer with us, and to think of one of his friends, John Thomas McNamara, who's lying in a hospital bed in French in Bristol now, and his boss, JP McManus, how upset he was. Like AP told me today, JP was in tears last night when he was recounting, about the accident that John Thomas had. So it shows you, puts everything into context, and for them, I'm delighted for them, because winning at Cheltenham is what this game is all about.
What is lovely there is the reaction of the other jockeys. Ruby Walsh, his great friend, bashing him on the back and probably saying something quite rude. Well, finally, took you long enough. Sam Twiston-Davis was congratulating